So I'm Kevin Meehan, and I'm in the band Sugar City Sideshow. So what is that about? What does Sugar City Sideshow mean, in fact? I think the first thing you need to know is that I spend a fair amount of time in St. Kitts for work and pleasure, and one of the nicknames of St. Kitts is Sugar City, because it used to be the original British sugar colony in the Caribbean, and to this day, if you say Sugar City, people know you're talking about St. Kitts. So I wanted to make that gesture, but also I think it says something about my interest in pop music, and I do like ear candy and bubblegum pop, and even I think some of the punk music that I love has a bubblegum aspect to it, and so the sweetness of that I thought was also captured by the name Sugar City. And I have my mobile studio that's called Sugar City Studios, and I even have a band from time to time when I can get the people together called Sugar City. But I wanted to have a space in the project where I could both explore acoustic work, solo acoustic work, but also, more importantly, collaboration with other people. And so at one point, I think in the summer of 2018, I had organized with Billy to go on tour. And we were going to tour Northern Europe in the Netherlands and Germany and Belgium. And then we were thinking about what could we call this project, and Billy said, well, it's kind of like the Sideshow. And I said, yeah, man, that's a great idea. And so we dubbed it the Sugar City Sideshow, and produced our cassette album for 2018. Eventually wound up in Europe promoting that little cassette and having a heck of a lot of fun and meeting people, including Studio Longboard in Hamburg. We met Sergej Schwarzkopf, who is now a really good friend of mine, and I think is, that's just an amazing place where you have the skate punks come together with the musicians. And then also there's a lot of videographers that spend time there, so there's a whole lot of people colliding at Studio Longboard in Hamburg. And when we were there in 2018, we were originally just going to rehearse our set at Studio Longboard, and then we were on stage at the Queer Bar in Hamburg. But we jammed with Sergej, who is plays a lot of different instruments, but is an amazing drummer, and so we clicked in the rehearsal. We went on stage and played on stage with him, and tried to record our stuff, but it was a little rushed, and we didn't really have an approach to it at that point. So it was a exploratory and pre-production rehearsal stuff. But we loved it so much, we said we got to get together and pursue this further. And so then in February 2019, Sergej flew from Hamburg to Austin, Texas. I flew from Orlando, where I live, to Austin, Texas. That's where Billy lives part of the time, and is actually right next door to Rob Whitehead's Freak Tweak studio, which is a spectacular studio. So we just showed up, and we every day went in and worked on our tracks, spent a week there, recorded our album, and then Sergej took all of the stems back to Hamburg and Studio Longboard and did the editing and the mixing and sent them out to a colleague for mastering, and just, I'm amazed at the sound that came out. The three of us all contributed songs to the project, and so there are some of Billy's songs. There's a song by Sergej. He's covering a Russian reggae song called Soldat, and Billy has originals, as well as I think an Agent Orange cover of Everything Turns Gray. So we have a fairly eclectic mix of stuff, but it's all within the scope of rock, roots, reggae. The actual project now has cover art from Misha Dumois, is a beautiful artist and tattoo artist from Seattle, and did the cover for the cassette album that Billy and I released a couple of years ago. And I guess, you know, what I want to say about it is that Sugar City Sideshow has really morphed from what I would consider to be my side project to something that has its own gravity and its own specific focus, which is this collaboration between Sergej and Billy and myself and Mark Wilson, who is just an unbelievably talented and accomplished saxophone and flute player, and really took the project to a much higher level with his contributions, both you know, doing pads as well as solos that we you know, were crazy about it. And so Sugar City Sideshow has morphed and grown and progressed into something I think much bigger and larger than my side project, and I'm happy with that. Glad that it's coming out, and I can't wait to share it with everybody, and look forward to going on the road with all of these guys and sharing the music live with people in clubs wherever we can get that set up and interact with the public. And hopefully this is just volume 1 of Sugar City Sideshow, and we'll have other versions of this coming out, and other, you know, other songs that we're working on that we'll be able to record and release under that heading. So I'm excited about it. I think you're going to like the eclecticism of Sugar City Sideshow, as well as the rootsiness of it, and you know, there's some good songs in there. I think if you listen to the words, you'll find something to grab onto and think about, and hopefully, in the best case scenario, even uplift you at moments when you need to find some asylum, mental, spiritual, political, however you need to get that asylum. I think, you know, music is one of the places you can get it, and hopefully we're going to give you some of that with this single, Some Asylum, as well as the larger project of the Sugar City Sideshow album, coming out at the end of February 2020 on the Studio Longboard label. Thanks.